Hari Om. So let us start today's session with our regular prayer, and then we will go on to formal welcome and everything else. So here we go.
आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है?
आवाज नहीं आ रहा है?
आ रहा है, आ रहा है।
हाँ। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ॐ समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। प्रातर्वदामि ललिते तव पुण्यनाम कामेश्वरीति कमलेति महेश्वरीति श्रीशाम्भवीति जगतां जननी परेति वाग्देवतेति वचसा त्रिपुरेश्वरीति। Hari Om, and a very warm welcome to all of you. It is nice to see large numbers. Well, to begin with, I would like to give a short preview what happened just before today. So we started our Lalita Sahasranama Stotram chanting module on 24th of June. And we learned to chant the complete stotram with focus on pronunciation and following basic Sanskrit rules. And the whole module we managed to complete on 24th of September, just a day before Navaratri. And all of us had taken an assignment that yes, we will be chanting Lalita Sahasranama Stotram every single day during Navaratri. Maybe in the morning or in the evening. Now at the end of every puja, there is a Rajopachar. So here today we will be doing a Rajopachar, a virtual Rajopachar, and that is why all of us have assembled here. So all the items or all the pieces that we are going to be offering today are at the lotus feet of the Divine Mother and the Guru, without whose grace and blessings we wouldn't have reached till here. So let us start the session with chanting. So the first chanting that we are going to do, or rather we can listen if we don't know, is Durga Suktam. And Durga Suktam will be chanted by Shri Santosh Sundaram. Santosh Sundaram has been with the Chinmaya mission since his Bal Vihar, and and the Yuva Kendra, and he continues to be one of the important members in the center that he is associated with. And yes, he is my brother too. So he will be chanting the Durga Suktam as an offering to the Divine Mother, Goddess Durga. Santosh, up to you.
Hari Om. Om Jatavedase Sunava Maso Mamarati Yato Nidahati Vedaha Sanaparishadati Durgani Vishwanave Vasindham दुरितात्यग्निः तामग्निवर्णां तपसा ज्वलन्तीं वैरोचनीं कर्मफलेषु जुष्टां दुर्गां देवीगं शरणमहं प्रपद्ये सुतरसितरसे नमः अग्ने त्वं पारयानव्यो अस्मान् स्वस्तिभिरति दुर्गाणि विश्वा पूश्च पृथ्वी बहुलान उर्वी भवातोकाय तनयाय शंयोः विश्वानिनो दुर्गः जातवेदः सिन्धुन्न नाव दुरितादिपर्षि अग्ने अत्र वन्मनसा गणानो अस्माकं बोध्यविता तनूनां पृतनाजितगं सहमानमग्नमग्निगं हुवेम परमा सधस्ताद् सनः परिषदति दुर्गाणि विश्वाक्षामग्देवो अतिधुरितात्यग्निः प्रत्नोषि कमेढ्यो अध्वरेषु सनाश्च होता नव्यश्च सत्सि स्वाञ्च अग्ने तनुवं विप्रयस्वास्म घञ्चसो भगमायजस्व गोभिर्जुष्टमजुजो निषिक्तं तवेन्द्र विष्णो रणुसञ्चरेम नागस्य पिट्टमपि सम्वसानो वैष्णवीं लोकैकमादयन्ताम् कात्यायनाय विद्महे कन्याकुमारी धीमहि तन्नो दुर्गे प्रचोदयात् हरि ओम.
Thank you, Santosh. And now, after Santosh, we have a student from the Chinmay Nadabindu Gurukula team, Shri Mehul Prajapati, who will be offering his Bansuri Seva for the goddess. Now, Mehul is a final year master's student of Bansuri at Chinmay Vishwavidyapeeth. He is accompanied on the Tabla by Shri Ankit Dalal, who is also a second year master's student of Tabla at the university. So over to Mehul and Ankit. Hari Om.
Hari Om. We are going to perform Rag Manch Khamaj, a short alap and one dhun on Adda Tintal. Hari Om. Audible? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mehul. I'm sure Lord Goddess Saraswati and her grace have, you must have received lots of it. It is very evident. And now the next person I would like to invite is Shri Srinath Mohandas ji. Srinath Mohandas ji is an assistant professor at the School of Ethics, Governance, Culture and Social Systems. So it's a big name. So EGCS, we will say for short. And at Chinmay Vishwavidyapeeth, he teaches, he writes, he speaks, and he conducts workshops on themes related to education and Indian knowledge systems. And yes, he's a student of Advaita Vedanta. He got introduced to Advaita Vedanta during his teenage years. Firstly through Swami Vivekananda ji, and then through Gurudev's teachings and books. And then he became a Chinmay Yuva Kendra member. He did the Yuvavir course and under Swami Mitranand ji. And yes, he, in a few years, he started leading many study circles for the youth and preteens. And yes, he tries his level best and manages to inspire them to take up study of Advaita Vedanta and practice it too. So over to Srinath Mohandas. Thank you very much, Srinath ji, for agreeing to come. And now over to you. Hari Om.
Thank you, Shobha ji. Thank you, Shobha. Thank you to everyone here. Absolutely, it is my pleasure to come here, and that too on the grand finale of such a momentous, sadhana that all of you have taken up. I'm really sad that I couldn't be part of it in the sadhana sense, but truly inspiring, and I'm sure that this will set the tone for many more to come into the path. So I will straight away go to my my duty today. Duty in not that sense, but then what I'm supposed to do. So today we are just going to, next 10-15 minutes, almost 15 minutes, we are just going to see some of the things that we already know about Navaratri, but then we are doing a remembrance of that, so that resolve in us gets strengthened, and then we also try to live up to the ideas that our forefathers, our gurus have placed before us. So I have actually made a PPT, but I'm not sharing it because of some issues on my end. But I would still like to share a few pictures that I selected. I'll do the screen share. Right. So this is the first picture I wanted to do. I hope it is visible to everyone. Is it? The screen share is working, or?
Yeah, the screen share is working. But it's just, you'll be clicking on each and every picture, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Screen share is working.
Okay. So, I thought this will more work like a background as we speak and listen. That's how I thought it works. So basically, we are going to talk about Navaratri today. All of us know that Navaratri is a 9-day festival, 9 days and 9 nights festival that is celebrated across India. Truly a pan-Indian festival, not limited to some regions, not limited to some language groups, ethnicities, etc. So it is truly Navaratri is truly a celebration that the whole of India celebrates. However, interesting thing is that each of these subcultures might have their own versions of it, or their own reasons, specific reasons towards it. But totally, it is one thing we can surely say: it is about Devi, it is about Durga Parameshwari. 9 days and 9 nights are what we celebrate. And what is this 9 days and 9 nights? And the 10th day is today, right? Vijayadashami day. So what is this 9 days and 9 nights? Now, it is basically the fight that went on between Mahishasura and Durga Parameshwari. It is said that it lasted for 9 days and 9 nights. And on the 10th day, Mahishasura was slain. And who was Mahishasura? He was the English translation says he was buffalo-headed demon, but we don't have demons in that sense, right? It is a wrong translation done by the Westerners for us. Asura is Asura. Asura is not a demon that way. We also had very good Asuras. I mean, who were born in the Asura clan, like Mahabali, Prahlada, all of them were born in the Asura clan. So Mahishasura was an Asura, and what did he want? He wanted the Indra Padavi. So he fought his best, and then all the three worlds were subjugated, and then he was the Devas came to their wits end, and they went to Mahavishnu, requested for help. Mahavishnu said that the combined forces of the Trimurtis, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, together should make that manifestation of the great energy, which is the cosmic divine, the divine mother, who is Durga Parameshwari. And thus Durga comes into being, and then it is said that she roars, and that roar actually attracts all the asuras. The foot soldiers of Mahishasura come running to her with all the swords and shield and spears and all of that, and she fights single-handedly. She kills. There are 8 major commanders of Mahishasura. She kills all of them one by one, and the face-to-face battle with Mahishasura goes on, and it goes for 9 days and 9 nights. And finally, on the 10th day morning, she tastes success. Or Mahishasura was. So there are 2 versions. One version, which is the most popular version, will say that his head was decapitated, and all the popular pictures that we see are that way. But there's another version which also says he was, the trident was pushed into his chest. But whatever way it was done, Mahishasura was vanquished. Now, when did this particular story happen? Right? As we all know, these are all Puranic stories, and Purana has an historical component to it. They are not just mythology in the Greek sense of the word, right? So it did happen. I mean, if we have to believe the rishis, which we must, right? It did happen at some point of time. So when did this particular thing happen? Now, first of all, we must say that this might not have happened in our dimension of existence, right? We are humans. We have 5 senses, and all that is perceived through 5 senses, and all the reality that is contained within these 5 senses is what we understand and see, right? So this might have happened in some other dimension, which the Rishi says has done it. So where do we get this particular story? It is found in Markandeya Purana. In Markandeya Purana, chapters 78 to 90, 13 chapters are devoted for the story of Durga Parameshwari, for the story of how Mahakali was, her birth and her rise and her crowning that was mentioned there, the 13 chapters. And it is very interesting that in the Markandeya Purana, in this particular chapter 78 to 90, in the 78th chapter, actually, the context is set for this whole narration of the story. So there is a king called Surata. King Surata is going to Sumedas, a Maharshi called Sumedas, and he calls Sumedas. And then that is where he wants to know about Durga Parameshwari, who is this person, and who is this great individual, who is this great divine mother. That was the question. And he also asked this question of, there is a Vedantic question to it also, which he says, all of us know truth in that sense, in the intellectual sense, right? Or how many satsangs all of us have attended, right? Have we not heard even Gurudev telling, there is absolutely one truth, and it is Maya that has, that has unveiled itself, because of which we are not able to get the reality, perceive the reality. So King Surata is asking, so all of us know truth in that sense of the word, right? Through intellectually we understand. But why do we not get the direct experience of it? Why are we not able to live it? That is also a Vedantic track to this particular Puranic story it has. And Sumedas goes on to address all of this. And that is where the story comes out. And it is said that, so this particular conversation, it is said that it is happening in the 2nd Manvantara. All of us are living in the 7th Manvantara, right? And there are 14 Manvantaras. So we are in the halfway through of this Kalpa. There are 14 Manvantaras. We currently live in the 7th Manvantara. And the story is being narrated in the 2nd Manvantara. And it is said that it is ancient. So in the 2nd Manvantara itself is an ancient story, which means we don't know when it really happened. But see, we are Hindus, we are Indians, right? For us, we don't count time in the sense of 10 years, 100 years, 1,000 years. 10,000 years are nothing for us. We count in terms of, we start with 10,000 years onwards, I guess, and millions and billions and yugas, and all of that is our count of the years. So that way, so what I'm trying to say is that Markandeya Purana actually tells that it actually happened at some point of time. Now, However, now the question can be asked, a lot of things happened in the past and a lot of such stories would have definitely existed, but why did the rishis chose to pick up some specific stories and put it and codify it in the Puranic history, right? So there could have a lot of things. I mean, if you are talking about these many billions of years and yugas and manvantaras and all of that, then a lot of things have happened. So that is when it says one of the primary purposes of Purana is to narrate the past in such a way that it has a meaning and value for the present and for the future as well. And therefore, this particular story also has an allegorical, value, allegorical meaning, which is what makes our life, or which is what makes us celebrating it every single year purposeful for our lives. Right? And that allegorical meaning is a Vedantic meaning. So on one plane, we are celebrating it because we are absolutely, glad and celebrating that Durga Parameshwari vanquished Mahishasura. A lot of Mahishasuras roam around these days, and we should also ensure that we don't become one of the Mahishasuras. So it is definitely worth celebrating, but then it is also important that we understand the Vedantic meaning of it, and that is what all our acharyas keep stressing upon. So what is this particular Vedantic meaning? I'll just change my picture. So that is when we come to the worship part of Navaratri, the worship part of how do we celebrate and worship Bhagavati during this Navaratri days. So the first 3 days are actually devoted to Shri Durga or Mahakali. The next 3 days are devoted to Mahalakshmi. And when we say Mahalakshmi here, we actually don't say in the sense of consort of Bhagavan Vishnu. And then the last 3 days are devoted to Mahasaraswati. So here we should understand it more like, the Paramatma, the Brahman, let us say the indivisible Brahman, in its Saguna Akara, it has taken a form, and Devi is that form that Brahman has taken. And this Devi has 3 aspects to it, which is Durga, Mahalakshmi, and as well as Saraswati. So in order to explain this, Gurudev has actually said a very beautiful story, and I heard it from Swami Aparajitananda, who is our Acharya in Mangalore. And I heard it in YouTube actually. You can actually go and check the full story, but I'll just summarize it. And I think that is what makes this whole beautiful and meaningful for us. So it is said that there was a child, who this child absolutely loved playing in the ditch water. So he was one particular day, he was looking out of the window and he saw that it was raining and the ditch was overflowing and it was full of mud and filth and all of that. So the child was tempted to run towards it and play in the mud. However, he clearly knows that his mother and father will not approve of it, but then he was tempted and he was taken by desire and he went out and started playing. He played there for almost an hour, and by the time his, all exuberance was over, that fear started creeping in that, how will I go back to my home? And what will my mother and father say? But he has nowhere else to go. So he comes back and he peeps through the door to see what is happening inside. And he sees that his father is sitting there with paper in his hand. So then he calls his father, Papa. So father looks, and one look he knows what has happened. He didn't say a word, except he called mother. So he calls the name of the mother and say what your son has done. So every time a child makes a mistake, it is your son. Every time he gets a credit, he has a merit, then it is our children. So see what your son has done. So mother comes. Mother is absolutely furious. The child is dripping with all the dirty water. So she actually pulls him by his collar and drags him directly into the bathroom, and where his clothes are removed and gives a very hard bath. And the child is crying because it is paining. Mother is bathing him like with a vengeance. And all of the things happened, and she started crying and all of that. It went on for some time. And finally, he started yielding to it. He understood that anyway he is smelling really bad, and then this cleaning is really required. So he agrees to what mother is telling, and he also realizes that what he did was absolutely not right. And then that remorse started coming in his mind. So mother now sees it. So mother also feels bad. After all, it is only a child. And in this age, he's supposed to do all these things. So mother also then, tones her down and then washes him up and then gives him a new dress. And everything is settled now. But now the child wants to go to his father, but is absolutely scared. What is he going to do? And he looks at his mother, and mother just takes him in her embrace and walks towards the father and tells the father that, see, your son has become clean and beautiful as ever. So then father turns and looks at him and says, oh, my son. And then he picks him up and keeps him on his lap. So how is this related to Navaratri? So Gurudev says, and I heard, of course, Aparajitananda Swamiji. So Swamiji says what Gurudev actually meant was, this is exactly what happens on Navaratri on 3 days. First 3 days we worship Durga. And Durga, who is Durga? Durga is that intolerant mother. Mothers are not intolerant, but I would say mothers who know how to deal with their kids. Right? So she is absolutely that terror of a mother who actually beats up the child in order to ensure that some sense is poured into them. Most of us don't allow sense to come into us, right? We live in our own worlds. So Durga actually does that particular thing. And why is she doing that? Because, there are three, what is stopping us from realizing the truth? There are 3 basic kinds of problems, obstacles that stop us from realizing the truth. One is mala, right? Mala are the internal impurities that we carry over many janmas and, manifestations. And then the second is the vikshepa. Vikshepa is that which is still in the mind. All the distractions, let us say, the distractions that we get from the world that we live in. And then finally, it is the unveiling power of, the wheeling power of Maya. So these are the 3 obstacles. So as Durga, she comes and treats our mala. And what are these impurities like krodha, kama, krodha, moha, lobha, all those things the Vedanta describes. So it needs to be scrubbed out, right? I mean, because we are carrying it for so many janmas together and we are so closely attached to it, we are not ready to give up, even though we know that it stings, right? So she becomes a terrible, I won't say terrible, but she becomes the terror of a mother and scrubs it out. And for the first 3 days are devoted to it. So during this time, the Prathama Charita of Devi Mahatmya. By the way, this chapters 78 to 90 of Markandeya Purana is called Devi Mahatmya. It is also called Chandi Part. It is also called, there's another name to it, right? I think I missed it. So basically it is called Devi Mahatmya or Chandi Part. So during this time, the Prathama Charita is being discussed, and that is where you see the vanquishing of Madhukaitapa, 2 great demons, right? So that is associated with removing the malas within. That is the Vedantic allegoric meaning to it. And then the next set of 3 days, Mahalakshmi comes, and here she bestows us with Daivi Sampati. In chapter 16 of Bhagavad Gita, we all have heard about Devi Sampati, Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi, Jnana Yoga Vyavasthiti, Dhanam Damascha Yajnascha Swadhyayastava Arjava. So there are many more Devi Sampati, right? So Lakshmi is a giver of wealth, but what is this wealth that we are talking about? Of course, she gives the outer wealth also, all the bank balance and cryptocurrencies and all of that, but she also gives us the inner wealth. And that is the most important wealth because that is what we carry Janma after Janma. So long as we are not going to get moksha in this particular Janma, we definitely need to carry those Devi Sampati with it. And Lakshmi, Mahalakshmi bestows us with all of that. So there she becomes like the mother who understood that, children make mistakes, right? And they need to be cared upon and they need to be some empathy needs to shown to them. So only you can do that when you scrub out their basic impurities, the hardcore impurities removed, when there is a softness in the mind. And secondly, what happens at the second, after scrubbing out all the mala, what happens? The child is remorseful, the child is guilty, the child starts acknowledging that there is some issue with it, right? So that is where Sharanagati comes. That is an example of Sharanagati. So Mahalakshmi comes and bestows her Daivi Sampati, then we show that Sharanagati. And as we progress, then we become fit students for the final journey, which is Atma Sakshatkara, the Brahmajnana. And that is where Mahasaraswati comes and takes. Just like how mother embraces the child and takes him to the father. And father is Brahman here, right? So Mahasaraswati, she herself is Brahman that way. And she takes us to the third part. So this is what the worship is all about. Right? And by the way, the second part of Mahalakshmi that is where we take up the Madhyama Charita, that is chapters 2, 3, and 4, where that is where Mahishasura Mardana actually comes into place. In the second part of Markandeya Purana, what is it? Devi Mahatmyam, we see Mahishasura Mardani as Durga. And then the final part of Mahasaraswati, that is absolute war, a hardcore war that is being fought. And that lasts for 9 chapters of Markandeya Purana. That is called the Uttara Charita, the last part. That is where we see the killing of Shumba and Nishumba, who prayed among. So it is said that after Mahishasura Vadam and all of that, Dharma was re-established. But then Shumba and Nishumbas again rise up. And these guys are absolute terror. And they terrorize the whole 3 worlds in such a way that the Devas were running helter-skelter for 41 Chaturyugas. Mind you, one Chaturyuga is 43,20,000 human years. For 41 Chaturyugas, 41 into 43,20,000 years, these Devas were running around with no hope whatsoever. And that is when Bhagavati again comes in, and Shumba and Nishumba are finished. I'll end with one more aspect of it, and that is we also celebrate every day, that is all the 9 days, with one manifestation of Bhagavati. And that is what I'm sure that all of you would have got your daily pictures from Sharadanji's Puja, and Beji would have sent it to all of us, I'm sure. So the first day is Shaila Putri, the second day, I forget the order right now, but then we have the Navadurgas basically, the Shaila Putri, Skantamata, Kalaratri, not necessarily, the second is Brahmachari, by the way. So in that order, we have 9 Durgas. And this actually Vedantically refers to 9 inner qualities, which is Viveka, Vairagya, Sadhanadi, Samadhi, Shat Sampati, as well as Mukshutva. Right? So Vivekam, Vairagya, then Shama, Dhamma, Uparati, Titiksha, Samadhanam. Then we talk about Mukshutvam. So all of this put together becomes a 9 inner wells. And each day is devoted to each form of Bhagavati, that is Durga Parameshwari. And then we consciously try to cultivate one of them. And finally, on the 9 days, right, when we properly follow all the part, and it is not that on Monday we practice Shama and then we master it. It's not going to be like that. But then it is more representative, and we all know that. And once we master all the 9 qualities, that is when we become fit for that final unveiling of the truth, which Mahasaraswati will take us to. And then, and our inner demons are also killed, and we become one with her. We become one with Brahma. So this is the brief Vedantic summary of Navaratri, I would say. And one more thing, I will end with this. It is said that the Shastras are unequivocal in saying that chanting of Lalita Sahasranama every day, that is the most auspicious aspect. And all these processes, of the removal of Mala, bestowing of Devi Sampati, and taking Mahasaraswati taking us closer to the real truth, all of that happens. So when we chant Lalita Sahasranama on a daily basis, it is said that deep cleansing is happening within. We might not know it, but we just have to ensure that we chant it every day. We might be doing it mechanically, absolutely like a tape recorder, doesn't really matter, but we should ensure that 40 minutes we sit, that 35 minutes we sit, and then we complete doing that. So may Bhagavati help us in the path, and let us see. I'm sure that all of us will be able to celebrate Navaratri, the true absolute meaning of it. Thank you so much. I don't know if I exceeded my time limit, but I really enjoyed sharing these thoughts with all of us.
Thank you very much, Srinath ji. Now, if you will stop the share, please. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for explaining the Vedantic aspect of celebrating Navaratri. And I hope all of us have gotten a few points at least one point as a takeaway from the talk. So the next offering at the feet of Divine Mother would be a song that has been written and composed by Srimati Sushila Acharya. And I will be trying to sing that. Is the tanpura okay, or is it sounding a little too loud? Santosh, Satish, can anyone confirm? Ramanyaka? Is it okay? Thank you. Anandadayini Tribhuvana Manamohini Anandadayini Shankara Ardhangini Shiva Shakti Rupini Tribhuvana Manamohini Anandadayini Shankara Ardhangini Shiva Shakti Rupini Tribhuvana Manamohini Sakala Jagatkarini Dakshayani Sakala Charachara Palini Sakala Jagatkarini Dakshayani Sakala Charachara Palini Suguni Bhavaharini Amba Shubhakarini Bhavaharini Amba Shubhakarini Himagiri Tanaye Mahishasura Mardini Bhavahari Niyamba Shubhakarini Himagiri Tanaye Mahishasura Mardini Sanida Mamaga Sagasa Gamadani Dasa Sanida Mamaga Sagasa Gamadani Dhani Sagasani Sagasani Nida Masani Dhani Magama Sagamadani Tribhuvana Manamohini Sharanagata Vatsale Shailavale Sharanagata Vatsale Shailavale Nityanutane Shamale Sharanagata Vatsale Shaidavale Nityanutane Shamale Charushile Kusuma Komale Devi Jaya Sarva Mangale Kusuma Komale Devi Jaya Sarva Mangale Bhakta Jana Paripale Hridaya Vilole Kusuma Komale Devi Jaya Sarva Mangale Bhakta Jana Paripale Hridaya Vilole Sanida Mamaga Sagasa Gamadani Dasa Sanida Mamaga Sagasa Gamadani Dadani Sagasani Sagasani Nida Masani Danida Magama सगमदनि त्रिभुवन मनमोहिनी आनन्ददायिनि शङ्करार्धाङ्गिनी शिवशक्तिरूपिणि त्रिभुवन मनमोहिनी जय अम्बे मात की जय. Hari Om. So now the next offering would be again from the CNBG team, but this time, what is Navaratri without Garba? So we'll have a short Garba presentation at the lotus feet of Devi Ma, and this is being presented by the Chinmay Vishwavidyapeeth students of Kalayoga. The team is led by Urmi Makwana. She's a second year master's vocal student. She'll be accompanied on the Bansuri by Mehul Prajapati, on the Tabla by Ankit Dalal, all of them second year master's students. And there'll be vocal support given by Srilakshmi. Srilakshmi is a Gurukul student. And so over to all of you. Hari Om.
चारे जुगना जुड़ला मानो सोड़ कणा नोवा पाथर्यो प्रकाश 14 लोक मारे के माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे हे माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे सजी सोड़े रे शणगार मेली देवड़ा केरी हार सजी सोड़े रे शणगार मेली देवड़ा केरी हार माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे हे माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे हे माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे हे माए गर्भो कोराव्यो गगन गोख मारे
Thank you very much. I mean, all of us, at least me, I wanted to swing and dance, but I'd had a very hard time controlling. Okay, I know we are running a little late, but nevertheless, I think this much so we can, we'll try and we'll, though a little delayed, we'll still continue with our offerings. Now, the next person to come is Shri Satish Sundaram. Satish Sundaram, if you can switch on your video, please. Yeah. Satish Sundaram has been, no, you're not audible. No. Satish Sundaram has been with Balvihar and Chinmay Yuva Kendra, and he's been active, and he's a twin brother of Santosh Sundaram and my brother too. So now Satish Sundaram will be chanting Medha Suktam. So we started off with Durga Suktam and now we are at Medha Suktam. And so over to Satish. Satish, can you just check your audio? No, not audible.
Hari Om.
Yes, now yes.
So I'll chant Durga, Medha Suktam. Hari Om. Om Medha Devi Jushamana na aga Vishwachi Bhadra Sumanasyamana Tvaja Jushta Nudamana Duruktaan Prihadvadema Vidate Suvira Tvaja Jushtaschitram Vindate Vasusano Jushasva Travino Namedhe Om. I'll just repeat it again. Om Medha Devi Jushamana na aga Vishwachi Bhadra Sumanasyamana Tvaja Jushta Nudamana Duruktaan Prihadvadema Vidate Suvira Tvaja Jushta Rishirбhavati Devi Tvaya Brahma Gata Shri Rutatvaya Tvaja Jushtaschitram Vindate Vasusano Jushasva Travino Namedhe Medham Mayindro Dadhatu Medham Devi Saraswati Medham Me Ashvina Vubhava Dattam Pushkarastraja Apsara Suchaya Medha Gandharveshu Chayan Manaha Daivi Medha Saraswati Sama Medha Surabir Jushata Giswaha Ama Medha Surabir Vishwarupa Hiranyavarna Jagati Jagamya Urjaswati Payasa Pinvamana Sama Medha Supratika Jushantam Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayi Agnistejo Dadatu Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayi Indra Indriyam Dadatu Mayi Medham Mayi Prajam Mayi Surjo Prajo Dadatu Om Hamsa Hamsaya Vidmahe Paramahamsaya Dhimahi Tanno Hamsa Prachodayat Om Vagdevyai Cha Vidmahe Brahma Patni Cha Dhimahi तन्नो वाणी प्रचोदयात्। हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। हरि ओम।
Thank you very much, Satish. Now we're going to we're coming to the end of the evening. Now the last offering for the evening is by Srimati Pramodini Rao and the whole team from the School of Kalayoga, Chinmay Vishwavidyapeeth. So we have the head of School of Kalayoga and director of the Chinmay Nadbindu Gurukula campus, Srimati Pramodini Rao, with a recent bandish that she has written and composed in Rag Bhairavi. We have Tanay and Nitin on the flute, Bansuri. Both of them are first year master student. We have Sai supporting on the Tanpura. She's also first year student of vocal. And we have Dipin Das, who has completed his integrated masters in Tabla from the university and is currently a part of the alumni. So over to Pramodini ji, requesting her to close the session or with a vote of thanks after the offering. Thank you.
Hari Om. So we do a Bhairavi Bandish, requesting all my teammates to start. Jagat-janani Mata Durga, Jagat-janani Mata, Jagat-janani Mata Durga, Jagat-janani Mata Durga, Jagat-janani Mata Shivardhamini Shivatmika, Shivardhamini Shivatmika, Deho Abhayadan Kalika, Jagat-janani Mata Durga, Jagat-janani Jagat-janani, Jagat-janani, Mata Durga, Mata Durga, Durga. Mata Durga, Jagat-janani, Mata Durga, Jagat-janani. Jagat-janani Mata Durga, Jagat-janani Mata माता दुर्गा माता माता मलयाचल वासिनी मलयाचल वासिनी मलनाशिनी मलयाचल वासिनी मलनाशिनी मलयाचल वासिनी आ आ आ मलयाचल वासिनी मलनाशिनी महिषासुर मर्दिनी भयहारिणी महिषासुर मर्दिनी भयहारिणी महिषासुर मर्दिनी भयहारिणी जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगज्जननी दुर्गा जगज्जननी माता दुर्गा जगज्जननी जगज्जननी माता दुर्गा शिवर्धांगिनी शिवात्मिका देवो अभयदान कालिका जगज्जननी माता मलयाचल वासिनी मलनाशिनी मलयाचल वासिनी मलयाचल 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 वासिनी मलनाशिनी महिषासुर मर्दिनी भयहारिणी महिषासुर मर्दिनी भयहारिणी जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगतारिणी जगपालिका जगज्जननी माता दुर्गा जगज्जननी माता दुर्गा शिवर्धांगिनी शिवात्मिका Hari Om. I've been given the honor of giving the vote of thanks. This was a last minute thanks to Shobha. So let us thank each one of you first, who have all assembled to watch this, listen to the whole program. We've spent more than, I think, an hour instead of the half an hour class you normally have. Thanks to, first of all, thanks to you all. Thanks to Srinath Mohandas, who's been a colleague, who's been a good friend. He readily agreed to give us this little talk that we had today. Thanks to, now I must say, thanks to Shobha for having, painstakingly taught all of you the whole of Lalita Sahasranam. She spent 3 months and more, I think, with all of you. So credit to her, kudos to her. Maybe I wouldn't have had that patience, but she took it on. She and I also have been chanting Lalita Sahasranam every day of these 9 days, except today. So very, very, inspired by this activity. We are all inspired. Thanks to all our CNBG team, all our students, the ex-student, the present students, the first year, second year students and the Gurukul students, all of them. Thanks to all of them. Have I missed out anyone? Shobha? Yes, I have missed out someone.
Satish.
Satish and Santosh, the twin brothers of Shobha. I'm sorry I've missed out your names. Thanks for last minute accepting this request and coming ahead and chanting the Meda Suktam and the Durga Suktam for us. Anyone else, Shobha?
No one else. But I would just want a few pictures, if everyone can switch on their videos before we do our prayers, or even while we are doing our prayer also. Yeah, closing prayer when you're doing. Now everyone can switch on their videos, please. Pramundika, once the video is on, then CNBG team can do the prayers. Okay, I'm just wanting to see a few more faces. Okay, no more seem to be. Oh yes, there are a few coming up. Okay, I think we'll just do the prayer, Pramundika, then. Yeah, please.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Lokas samastas sukhino bhavantu. Lokas samastas sukhino bhavantu. Lokas samastas sukhino bhavantu.
Thank you very much. Hari Om.